Hey there, welcome back to the table. So, here's what I got. I have all 36 pilots gloriously selected. I don't know if I made perfect decisions on all these, but what's done is done. The thing that is surprising me, though, is I have 50 SO points left over. I get 80. We calculated it on the last video. I'm doing something wrong. What I could do is actually get some of the nicer. See, because if you look at some of the nicer ones that you spend points on, they have a weight of 10. This one also has a weight of 10, because these are the three that I purchased that are special. This one's also special, actually, so there's four. Its weight is only 8, but it's a growler. It's not meant to be. But if you look at like the regular Hornets here, they only have a weight limit of 8. So why does it matter? Well, having that 2 extra weight points can make a world of difference when you're doing bombing runs. And so I'm just going to look real quick. So, for example, Scout is one that has a really good ATG, and so does Shepherd. Um, but I would have to pay more SO points for them. And then that's for the Hornet E. And then for the Hornet F, we have Bacon. But the Slick is not as good. He levels up quick, but he's not as good. So, the ones I'm looking at here is like Banzai and Mustang. They're not the best choices. I sort of squeezed them in. Let's see. No, Mustang was okay. Duke Talon and Banzai. Banzai is like the worst of the recommended, I guess, is how I put it. Hunter, Mustang, Bear, and Cowboy are all good. So is Talon. What about Duke? Where on earth did I get Duke from? Nope, Duke is good. Yeah, so I could upgrade. Let me see what Bacon looks like. And you can see I have a whole bunch of them that I took out here. And of course, I don't know what I did with it. It could be buried amongst, like, right here where you see the number 4. When I pull this out, there's Bacon right there. So in this case, I don't know who Boston is, but anyways, Bacon. You can see he has a +3 air to ground and 2 cool. That's actually a really good. That's a good one. Um, Probably why I had it listed as I said it was the second best one. But who do I take out, right? So if we look here, and so it takes 12 experience, 8 experience, so it takes 20 experience to get to ace. At average, it's not quite as good. So I'm just spending SO points just to spend SO points. Mustang is already good. Banzai is the one I think I would replace if I was going to do one. But Banzai is fast. See, having a fast air to ground is not as useful. It's useful, don't get me wrong, but it's not as useful as a fast air to air. But he's already fast even at average. I'm going to just stick with what I have, but um, I'm really shocked that I have 50 points left. And you know what the other thing is with the Air Leader expansion, there were these extra, like you could buy these planes that negate the weight point penalty altogether, but they cost like 12 SO points to purchase. The other thing is there were skills, so you can get like +1 cool or +1 air to ground. There were skills you could get for your pilots, and there were also ace pilots that like had skills built into them. None of those are in this particular module, which is unfortunate because if I was playing on um, on the tabletop, I would have been able to take advantage of that. Now, this is another thing I wanted to point out is, um, so for example, this is just a really nice description of what all the different bombs are. Now, that's no different than just looking here. Like you can look at these and see the same thing, but it's a really nice summary. It tells you a little bit about some of the SO points, etc. Let's see, cost 12 SO per mission for as many as weight allows. So you pay 12 like a one-time fee, and then you can load up with as many of these as you want. Um, I didn't remember the rule being exactly like that, but that makes sense. I do remember the GBUs were extra special. Um, so maybe we're fine because we're gonna blow through 50 like nothing if we're spending 12 on GBUs and things of that nature. Um, Also, R&R costs 9. Doesn't matter who with, so we can burn through these. The other aspect here is we're at 66 with these guys. Now, the reason this one bumped up, um, we actually started with less, 54. You can see here you start with 80. So I think another thing is even though it's an advanced difficulty mission, they were very generous with the SO points on this one. And here you can see the 12 SO for these three. And it's not 12 SO per, like they said, it's you pay the 12 and then you can load up with as many of these bad boys as you like. For the whole mission, so on all your planes. So for this one, the SOs are much lower, 54, but we were able to bump it up to 66, which is even higher than this. But it's largely because we took these two, which gave us a 24-point boost. And nothing, we can't take Hornets or anything that cost us. So we basically got a bonus of 12 and we spent nothing. Now I could like promote somebody, I could do things like that, but I usually never do. So anyways, we're good to go here. And then here's the crazy one. The Marines start with 198 SO points, and that's not a joke. Um, the every single Harrier, which is the only plane you can take, gives you 12 SO points. So we have 12 of them. So we basically got 144 SO points on top of the 54 that we start with here. So the Marines are just swimming in SO points. Now you might be wondering, what on earth are you going to spend them on? Um, I don't know. Uh, if you look at here, you could take the GBUs, which will cost 12 per mission. So GBUs are a thing. 12 per mission. I mean, there's 12 days, so 12 times 12 is 144. So I could take GBUs every single week. But there's multiple missions per week. It's blah blah blah. But R&R is 9. And the other thing to understand with the Harriers is they have this nap of the earth. See that little skill here? Um, so the way the game works, if you remember, if I roll anywhere from a 0 to 6, nothing happens to me. But if I roll higher than a 6 but lower than an 8, or equal to an 8, so if I roll a 6, a 7, or I'm sorry, a 7 or an 8, I would take a damage. And damage causes your plane to lose all of its munitions. And if it ever takes a second damage, you crash and have to do recovery, and it's not a good thing. So usually, if you take a damage, you're basically out of the battle. You better get out of there. And then of course a 9. I gotta think of this properly. Um, a 6 or a 7 is the damage, and then an 8 is let me think about this. 6 or 7. No, no. So up to a 6 is safe. 7 and 8 is the damage, and then 9 or better is the no. Let me back up. 6 and 7 is a stress. The first number is stress. So if you have a 6 or 7, it's stress. 8 is a damage. 9 is destroyed. That's how you do this. I don't know why I'm brain farting so badly on this. So with Nap of the Earth, if you're flying low, it represents you're like barely above the trees because it's a Harrier. You can go really low. So with Nap of the Earth, all it's saying is that if you roll an 8, the middle number, instead of taking a damage, you also just gain a stress. So instead of getting a stress on 6 and 7, you're going to get a stress on 6, 7, and 8. There is no such thing as taking a damage. You're either taking a stress, or nothing happens, taking a stress, or you're destroyed. There is no in between. So there's no taking damage for Marines. So with that said, it is possible they're going to accumulate stress more quickly. And also you'll notice that there's not a lot of cool values on these, and you pretty much don't need them because you could just R&R every week. Uh, eating crayons can be good. So, without further ado, let's get started. And I think going left or right is as good as any. The hardest thing is remember is of course we have to switch um, our mindsets, but basically the Mirage 3s are the only thing we have to ignore here. And remember, that also means when we're drawing bandits. Mirage 3 on the other side should be removed as well. And all three of these say remove Mirage 3s. I don't know if there's a way to search the... Yeah, that's right. We ran into this before. I don't know what's the other side of a Mirage 3, so I can't quite pull that off. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. As you can know, we always have the thing. We draw our target cards. The amount that we draw is your recon value, which for us is 3. And then 2 over here. So let's go ahead and get started. Whatever we don't select goes into a discard pile. And let me move this over a bit. So let's draw 1, 2, and if I draw a scramble, I have to stop drawing right there. Scramble has to happen. Do I get to, since the secondary was drawn first, I think I still get to do the secondary. Let's look up what scramble keyword is again. Scramble, as soon as you draw one of these, stop drawing cards. You must select this as your day's primary mission. Yeah, I still get to choose a secondary, which is totally fine. Alright, so the carrier defense is going up first. And we knew this. And then we are going to also try to do the secondary, which is a fighter sweep. That's pretty standard stuff, actually. I'm going to put that here. And then this one, we're going to have to discard. If there was a keyword, sometimes they have to stay. Like, I think it's improvement is the keyword. It's a weird word. Improvement. It activates when the target is drawn. You apply the effect until you destroy the target. So we would have been a little screwed, but this goes in a discard pile, so we'll have to come back and get that later. Remember, there's only 2 more. There's only 5 cards in the whole deck. So if we get both of these, we're going to end up, taking on the whole thing. Now, the last thing, finishing our phase. Last thing I should mention is the promotions. It's a very even split, meaning that I think you can see it here. On a lone campaign, you get 1 newbie, 1 veteran. So just think of it like it's a bell curve, really. So you have 1 on the ends, 2 on the second standard deviation, and right on the middle is Well, actually, your bell curve, you got 6 average, 1 standard deviation at 2, and then 2 standard deviations, you have 1. How about that? Um, so it's 1, 2, 6, 2, 1, right? So the key thing was is who's going to be the veteran and which two are going to be skilled. And then, of course, you have your 2 greens and a noob. Now, for this group, it was real easy. Um, the the noob and the 2 greens, all 3 of these level up to veteran very quickly. They don't need a lot of experience points, and I have it in my notes. These are very special ones I have flagged. They are perfect to start off at the noob or low levels. And I chose for the Growler to be the noob because the Growler gives its little benefit right from the start. The benefit does get a little better as you level him up, but the thing is you don't need him to bomb a target like as much as you need the other ones. So anyways, the Growler got a little bit of a special treatment, and then uh, the AWACS, I go veteran all the time with AWACS. Um, First off, the both AWACSs level up slow to begin with, but they are most useful at veteran or ace, and there's multiple reasons why. The first one is you could ignore events. That's already a huge bonus. And then secondly, they give situational awareness, um, and you get +1 on your air-to-air rolls. Now, one of the things we could have done is reduce this, because there is a flight leader that you give to whoever the highest promoted person is in the bunch. So Brick is going to end up being the flight leader because it's the highest promoted. But you want to give flight leader, you want the highest promoted to be somebody who has special action points. Because then they can give those special action points to other pilots. Now in this case, I get 4 of them. And so whether obviously they're going to end up becoming the flight leader, but the fact that I can give out 4, even if they're not the flight leader, that's where the value comes in. So I can ignore an event on a 4 or better. I can give out 4 SA points. Those are your 2 magic items on why you want them to be a veteran. Then as for the skilled, I always go after people who have air-to-air. Taking out bandits is a top priority. It's a little easier to bomb sites than it is to kill enemy planes. I'm not saying that the sites can't hurt you, um, but in terms of priority, taking out the bandits is the larger priority. So you want good air-to-air bonuses as soon as possible. You can live with a 0-0 for air-to-ground. Having a 0-0 for air-to-air is a lot more threatening. And then as you can see, like some of these on average still have a +1 for air-to-ground, and this one has a +2. So Mustang's fantastic to have an average. You don't need them to be promoted more. And same with Cowboy and Duke, right? So this is a great group here. Tigger is at +1. And even at green, Doc is at 0. There's no penalties. Bigfoot on average, look at that, is already a +3. And the only ones, like Alpo here has a negative. And Talon is also +0. You couldn't ask for a better group than this 12. This is a fantastic group. Now you get over here. It's a little different. We have these guys are your air-to-air specialists. I chose 3 of them. And we made sure that one of them minimum was skilled with a +2. And the other ones at least have a +1 or a +0. And then I took one of my bombers up and gave it a +2. And everything else, so these 2 I took to get the extra action SO points. As bombers go, they're not as good as the other ones, but they still do quite well. And basically, making them the green and the newbie was a no-brainer. Because if there's any of them that it's okay to not, level up as fast, it's these. Although, I'll be honest, Haas actually levels up very quickly. He's one of the ones I have earmarked. And then Buzz is not so bad either. The other green I chose was I took a Hornet. This is the only Hornet that's in the group. I made it a green as well, but here you can see his air to air is already a +1. So the focus is going to be on the Tomcats being the air to air units. And like I said, I have 3 of those. I have 3 of the heavy bombers, and then I have 2 of the lighter bombers. And then I took both of the prowlers. Um, I did it because I was sort of feeling like there's not a lot of variety, and so having the 2 prowlers is really going to just help the heavy bombers and the light bombers to focus on their mission. The light bombers, by the way, can't take AGM, or no, they can take AGM 88s. That's actually good to know. But these guys can only take AGM 88s, and I can do one for the primary and the secondary. And then I did the same thing. I made the eyes the veteran. SA points not quite as high. Ignoring events not quite as good. Um, but get +1 on all your air to air and air to ground rolls. That's a really nice bonus. This one over here is +1 on only your air to air, which I gave to these guys because the Hornets don't quite have as many +3 air to air planes. I don't know if I have any actually that go to +3, whereas over here, these Tomcats go to +3 every day and twice on Sundays. Okay, last but not least, the Harriers. Remember I told you it's more of a matter of picking which 2 aren't going to be in, and let me show you the 2. Look at these guys at ace level. This one at best gets a +1/+1. And then this one here gets a +1/+1 at ace level. I thought that was horrible. So I got rid of both of those, and basically I tried to sort them a bit here. For example, this is air to ground, air to ground, air to ground. All 3 of them are +2. Here's air to air. That was supposed to be air to air. There's not a lot of. Here's another one. And here you got, looks like air to ground, zeros across the board. This one is just a sorry shape, -2, -2. And then you got a nice air to air there, and an air to ground of +2, even at average, which is really good. So I wanted to make sure, and not only do I have air to air, but I have fast, which means you get to go first. So Sniper is a fantastic one. I made him a veteran so he could go fast. Really good at taking out the bandits. Everybody else, it is what it is. The thing to understand is we have no AGM 88s with the Marines. So we're going to get attacked a lot by ground targets. There's going to be, Marines is not a, it's not for the weak. Let's put it that way. All right, so with that said, we have carrier defense, which is going to let us take 4 planes to defend. Here you can see it's a scramble. The objective is 6 Su-7s. If more than one Su-7 is not destroyed, the campaign is over right from the start. So we have our Su-7s right here. I don't know why there's only 3 of them, but we're going to go ahead and grab the 3, put them on here, and then I'm going to go ahead and clone it and do 4, 5, and 6. So basically these are bombers, and they're coming for our carrier. They're trying to sink our carrier. That's the reason why we can't let a single one through. So this is a pure air-to-air mission. And then this one is also a heavy air-to-air mission. So we're going to be tested really heavily here with our Marines. I do have to assume that this one's going to be less important. So we could fail this if we needed to. This one, of course, must do. The good news is they only take 1 hit, and they're real easy to hit. They have a +2 on them. But here you can see we are going to grab one bandit on all the approaches and then 3 more in the center. And if you come up here, there's 3 more center bandits. So a whole bunch of bandits. Now it says +1 hit here for infrastructure, but there is no actual infrastructure for us to hit. So we're getting a little bit easy on that one. But anyways, let's go. All right, so let's do the approach. We're going to do west approach here. And remember, if it's a MiG Mirage 3, we don't use them. So there's a no bandit, and no bandit, and then there's 3 from the mission, and then 3 more from here. So 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? I probably should have shuffled these. Looks like I'm drawing the exact same ones over and over again. I'm going to shuffle. I don't think the bag was shuffled, so let's do that. There we go. They're nice and shuffled. Let's try again. No bandit. I drew a MiG-23 anyways. There's one of them. One of the Mirage 3s. So what is so special about these? Let me see. Whatever they are, they're real easy to hit. They have really low threshold in terms of damaging you. And SA-11's on the other side. So if anything, this is not in the... This is a range 3. I mean, I'm sort of glad the Mirage 3's gone. That's a really nasty... here's another SA-11, but see, that one is not a Mirage 3. Alright, so we did the 4, and now we got to do the 6 in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Actually, they're all MiG-23s and 29s anyways, so maybe it was already shuffled. So this is our situation. So we can get rid of the no bandits. Oh, hold on. I have to put them all back in. I have to assign my planes before... I have to assign my planes to the mission. I don't have to choose my approach, but I have to assign who's going to go on this mission and do the loadouts before I see what gets drawn. And normally you're drawing sites and bandits, but you draw the sites before you do your loadout, so you get to see what's on the ground. Obviously we see these, and then we draw the bandits after we've committed. Okay, so my apologies there. So we went heavy air-to-air. So sniper for sure is going. I don't know, where do I put him? Right here? Let's put him here. So we only get to take 4. 4 get to go on the mission. So sniper is for sure one of them. And I'm just looking for my best air-to-air bonuses. We're going to take animal for 2. And turnip for 3. I'm looking at, I got a lot of nice air-to-ground guys. I don't want to take a negative. So let's take Kong for 4. He has a +0. So all 4 of these guys are going on the mission. And I'm going to go ahead and put them in this box here. Now for the secondary, That's what these are meant to be. So one's for the primary, the other one's for the secondary. Um, so we got these four that are going on the primary. We got three more going on the secondary. I don't want to take air-to-ground specialists on the secondary because all I'm going to do is just make them take stress. Um, so, looking at the situation here, I'm going to be taking guys that are getting a +0, like Rudder here. That's actually a really good one to take. And Rudder actually is fast. I should maybe consider putting him in the carrier defense one, but I think I'm going to be okay. Now this one has a -2, which is not great. We're going to take him for the experience. And then we got a couple -1s going on here. We'll go ahead and do this one. So these three are going to go into mission 2. Like so. And then the flight leader, I know we have to keep bouncing back and forth, but so between these four, Animal, Turnip, Sniper, and Kong, Sniper is the most promoted. So Sniper is going to be the flight leader. I got to bounce back and forth a lot. I'm not sure how much I care about that. But let's see. What kind of air-to-air can we can do AIM 9s and AIM 120s. That's it. So we got a weight limit of 6. And right now there is no weight penalty. So AIM 9, AIM 120, they should be both sides of the same. So the 120s can be independently fired, which is good. So what that means is you can fire, I believe you can fire more than one at different targets, all in the same turn. And they have a range of 2. We're going to have to dig into this. And then the AIM 9. Yeah, so the AIM 120s are special. The AIM 9s are your classic one range rockets, or air-to-air. I think they call them sidewinders. The AIM 7s have I think it's a range of, man goodness, how did I forget so much about this game? All right. Here we go. So red is the cannot attack range. That number is the maximum attack range. So the AIM 7 is better, or longer range, but you can't shoot at range 0 is what that's saying. Okay. The weight points is the top left number. All right, it's coming back. I know what the anti-radar. The AIM 7 can't attack in the red range. So this is saying you can attack 0 or 1 away. The AIM 9. Got it, got it. This, of course, is high altitude, high and low. I get that. I understand dispersed, independent. They can be fired at independent targets. Each counter can attack the pilot's declared target or a different target. So, for example, he can only attack the declared target, but because he has weapons with the independent trait, he can drop an MK82 on the target. Yeah, so basically it's just saying you can attack more than one target, is what that gets at. And then if we always remember at the very end, they have a nice little summary of all of them. And then, yeah, so the AIM 7 is the Sparrow, the 9 is the Sidewinder. A heat-seeking weapon, and this one uses radar energy, it looks like. And then the AIM 120 is the AMRAAM. It's like a Phoenix missile. It can self-guide to the target. It's a little more agile, and you can see here the range is 2 or better. So it's a minimum of 2 range on these ones. and you cannot use it on a range of 0 or 1. To attack a bandit at range 0 or 1, it must be your declared target. So, I actually didn't know that. All this time I've been playing Hornet Leader, I never knew you could do it if it was a declared target. I assumed that that was a very strict thing. Okay, so getting back to this, um, the 120s are range 2 or better, so you got like all these bandits, right? We're going to come in on the standoff, right? So even these guys are going to be range 2 away. Like, let's say I'm coming in from the west. Um, that one's going to be range 2 away. So uh, we definitely want some AMRAMs. And then, of course, the guys in the middle, we can light them up like Christmas trees. So I'm thinking, you don't want to go with 0 sidewinders, but I'm thinking I want to be AMRAM all the way. So with the air-to-air guys, the one thing I like about using this electronically is there's only so many components in the game, so you're constantly having to put your weapons back. I think we can just make clones and copies of them and keep them here. So anyways, where I'm getting at with this is that we have 6 weight points, so we can bring in 6 items. And my thoughts is I want to bring 1 or 2 aim 9s. Here you can see the aim 9 hits on a 6. The aim 120s hit on a 5. So the aim 120s are even better. What's that 4 down below? I know I can hit at a 2 or better. I bet that 4 is the... Is that the max range? I mean, that 1 is the range. Here we got a 3 and a 1. Why am I struggling so much? I should just get some sleep and then come back. Here we go. Nope, it's not going to say, is it? So this one, you can't do 0, but it's a max of 4. The only thing throwing me off is why the 4 is down here and not up here with the other numbers. Other than they're just jamming it in because they didn't have room. That's a DVG thing to do, for sure. So here's like, for example, there's this 1 and this 0. The 1 is at high altitude and the 0 is at low altitude. That part I get. These are altitude specific ranges. So, oh yeah, so it's saying the range is for high or low. That's what that's getting at. Okay, we're on board. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna take just 1 sidewinder and 6. I mean, it's just the AMRAMs are just clearly, other than the fact that if the bandits are up close, the AMRAMs are less useful. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops, I haven't gone over enough. Yeah, so wherever I put that aim 9 was not the right place. And since this guy is going to be our air-to-air specialist, this loadout is likely never going to change. So now I'm going to go ahead and clone this. Two, three, 4, 5, 6. Oh, who's even on the mission? It's these guys. Kong, sniper, animal, turnip. The clone doesn't work on multiples, but that's alright. 1, 1, 1. And I know he's not on the mission, but we'll do 1. Okay, so we got our flight leader. We have our loadout. It's pure air-to-air goodness. And this is pretty simple, actually. So yeah, we're gonna now we get to draw. We don't have to choose our approach until we see where the bandits go. But let's draw now, finally, for real. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. All right. Okay, here we go. So now that we know what we know, I can choose to come in from the south because we at least have a little bit of clear. But it doesn't matter. Like, this guy can move to here and get within one of us very quickly. I'm going to lock that so it doesn't pick up anymore. But we will still come from the south. And it doesn't matter if we're high or low with our particular weaponry. Let me just make sure. Yeah, high or low is a 4. And that is also true for the aim 9. Okay, so and I always like when I'm I like when I'm, on a mission to see what I'm actually using instead of having to constantly flip back and forth. So I'm going to put both of these in just so I can see what our loadouts are. And I'll just put it behind us here. And this is sort of like what we do whenever you're playing the physical copy. So can they take ECMs? So I could choose to remove an AIM 120 and have an ECM. For this mission, the answer is no. So I am going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And I just realized I only have 6 weight points. So I have to take away 1 AIM 120. I only have 5. I only have 5 on each person. I'll go ahead and pile them up here. So, did I want to do ECM? The answer is no. But I do want to flip all these to low. Come on, turnip. Alright, so anyways, he's flying low. Why am I flying low? Well, because bandits or targets so a 2 through a 6 is stress, a 7 and 8 would be a damage. Because I'm flying low, that 7 and 8 becomes stress. So yes, actually you could take a damage with a Harrier if you're flying high. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling here. So we determined and placed the sites. We assigned our pilots. We armed our aircraft. We have to draw a target-bound event card, place the aircraft, and then place the bandits. So you don't even see the bandits until after you place your aircraft. Well, with that said, I would have come from this angle then, because that's what I constantly talk about. It's okay. And we would have done the target bound event card before any of this happened. So here's our event deck. Let me draw. And I am going to move this over. Put that there. Okay, so let's go. Radar contact. Roll 2 attacks against 1 random aircraft. Roll 1 less attack for each air-to-air counter expended. That's an interesting one. Obviously, we have lots of air-to-air counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11. And we have 4 planes, each with 6. So I would have to expend 4 of them. So 6, 12, 18. I have 24 to hit 11 targets. I would have to get rid of 4 of them to avoid rolling the dice. Ugh. Okay, so I did leave 1 random number generator here. So we want to do... There we go. First pilot is number 9. Nope, I'm sorry. We only have 4 pilots. First pilot is number 3, which is animal. And we rolled a 2. So animal takes 1 stress. Where are you at, animal? Animal gets 1 stress from that. And then we get to do it again. Number 2 is sniper. Ooh, I rolled an 8. That's why you expend the air-to-air. The damage will make you lose all your air-to-air. That's not good. So my apologies. I know I'm retconning already. So we're going to remove 2. Kong is our worst one. Or no, I got to remove 2 from sniper if I'm going to do it. So I'll do the 9 and the 120. To avoid rolling that die. Yeah, I'm realizing there's no mitigation on these dice. I don't get to do evade. I don't get to do anything. Or no, I do. Hold on. Hold on. You can tell it's been a while for me, huh? So evasion is on here somewhere. It's just convoluted where they have it buried. After the target of a site is determined, you may have your aircraft react. You can suppress, which we're not doing because we don't have any rockets. Or we can try evading. If our target may choose to go evasive to reduce the chance of being hit. When an aircraft goes evasive, they get 2 stress And then rolling, we get to roll 2 dice and use the lower roll. That's what I would have done for both of them, to be honest with you. So, so let's assume the 8 was the second roll for this one. So he would have 3 stress now. And and there we go. We got a 1. That's what we were looking for, and now we got 2 stress for sniper. Because we went into evasive mode. Okay, it's coming back to me, folks. there are smart decisions to be made and dumb ones. So, anyways, we did draw target bound. We placed the aircraft, which you see here, or here. We placed the bandits. Intel air defense adjustment, which just means that we placed 3 more bandits. That was taken care of. And then we draw over the target event card, which is this one. Add 1 site to a random area containing your aircraft. That's really bizarre. It's a carrier attack. But let's go ahead. I'm just going to put it in the middle. We could put it anywhere, really, but no. Actually, this is very important because I didn't equip my airplanes for dealing with a site. I'm going to say this can be ignored in this situation. There's not going to be a floating site. These are planes. We're being attacked by nothing but planes. So I'm going to say I can't do it. Okay, keep going. Phoenix missile, turn counter, turn 1. And then we get to, do we jettison fast pilot's attack? And this is the part that's a little annoying, is I have to go around and, so I have the sniper is fast, animal, Kong, and turnip are not. So we're going to go ahead and sniper goes first. You can see this guy has a range of 4. This one also has a range of 4. Those are 2 really nasty ones. So we're going to go ahead and shoot aim 120s. There. And there. Now I get a +1 that you see written on there. And I also get, whoops, wrong one. Gets a +2. So he's getting a +3. +3 to his die roll, and he only needs a 5 to hit. So that means he misses on a 1 or a 2. If I don't destroy these, though, they are going to get to fight back. These other ones with a range of 2 can't quite get to us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch a second one. Remember, they each have 5. So we're going to go ahead and launch. He's going to launch 4 of them to make sure he takes out the threats. And then his last one, we're going to go ahead and try to get this one here. So that's what Sniper is going to do. So I'm going to put Sniper on the top. He's fast. These 3 are slow. So we'll separate him that way. So Sniper's going first. He's trying to do that. Also, bear in mind, we have situational awareness. So Sniper has another one of those. But he's launching everything he has. Okay, so let's do the first 2. And sure enough, I did roll 1, which would have been a miss, but the 3 hits. 3 plus 2 is 5, and then this adds +1 for 6. Alright, so this guy is dead. And then once again, I see a 7 and a 1. So we did the right thing. So for all the screw-ups I've done, um, we at least did this right. Both of them are down. And I need to start learning to like line them up along the like that. Okay, then we got one more bonus one. So let's go ahead and just grab a die here and roll. And of course I get a 2. That is a miss. But he did his job. Okay, so we did fast. Next we go to the bandits and the planes. These of course aren't attacking ours. They don't move yet, but none of them were not in range for any of these, so nothing happens on their turn. They have nothing they can do. At the end of the round, they will move forward if we don't. And that's done right here. Bandits move. So you see fast pilots attack. This is where the bandits did their attack. And then now slow pilots get their turn. So we have 15 AIM 120s. Remember, everybody still has an AIM 9, but nobody's in range to use those. So now we got 15 between these three. So let's start. We get to do them one at a time. You don't have to allocate all 3 of them at once. So let's start with, I believe Animal should be next. He gets a +1. So he has the best bonus. So we're going to go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, and then we'll do 4 and 5. Alright, so +1, +2, +1. Let's do the left, or the +1 on the left there. We rolled a 9. This is killed. Now let's do this one where we get a +2. Rolled a 4. 5, 6. Dead. Let's do this one. We get a +1. We rolled a 1, so we miss. Then we have 2 of them here. I'm going to roll 2 dice. We get a +2 on each. Those are 2 hits. Well, hold on. Yeah, they're both hits. Alright, so 2 of them are down. And Kong's turn is over. So now we got Animal. Animal's turn is over. Kong's turn is +0. Turnip is +1. So let's do Turnip next. Animals is the one that's done. Turnip is the next one. Similar deal. We're going to do 1. And then 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So he's going to go for all 4 of these and this one. So let's go for this one first. Rolled a 7. That's more than enough. Took him down. And then this I could roll 4 dice. The gloss is really, the glare is really bad. This is the only question mark. 6, 9, and oh, we got a 2. We get to add a +2, which is 4. But we do get to add +1 for Turnip's air to air. That's 5. Yeah, that's enough to hit all 4 of them. And that's a victory. So I'm sorry for the rustiness. It's funny. I know these games like the back of my hand, and then you don't play them for. It's probably been a year and a half to 2 years since I've played this. Anyways, this is a victory. Was it hard? Actually, no. The hardest part was that dang event. We did take a lot of stress, but let's We did it all in round one. These AMRAMs are awesome. Um, Let me make sure I don't need to spend SO points for AMRAMs. I don't. Oh, look at this. AMRAMs are not in the mission. No wonder they're so awesome. AIM 120s are not allowed. Here they are. They're a special weapon. I just did it all wrong. So that means they can only load up AIM 9s, and that's it. Wow. This is going to be a tough mission. You take those away. All right. My apologies. Let's get these back on the board. This one was... I know one was for sure there. He was there. This one was there. The range 4 was there and there. Yeah. And there was nobody down here. Okay, so AMRAMs are wonderful weapons. Now I remember. I was sitting here thinking to myself, how come I've never used these before? These are awesome missiles. Now I know why. They are garbage. Well, they're actually awesome, but they're garbage for me because I don't get to use them. And where did they go? Where's your bag? Right here. So, my goodness. Talk about making lots of mental mistakes. Alright, so AIM 9s are the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this you got to get up close and personal. And it's all we got. Look at this. It does say AIM 9 and 120, but this is going to be quite a doozy. So we start over. I mean, the events are the same. The stress we got, all that is fine. And the thing is fast pilots attack. I do have a fast pilot, but nobody's in range. My range is a 1. And 1 space away is not good enough. So I don't get to do anything. And then they get to attack, and we have 2 of them that are attacking. So again, we have to decide who the first one's going after. It's going after number 4. And number 4 in this case is Kung. And Kung will go evasive. I believe he'll go evasive. Remember, look at that. If he gets one more stress, he's going to be to the point of getting shaken. But we can't afford to get hit. So we're going to go ahead and do that. This is why we should take ECM pods. So let me back this up a little bit. We're going to get rid of 1 AIM 9 for everybody. And I'm going to pick those up and carry them over here so we can have them on this board. So the thing we want is an ECM pod. Where are you? Same tokens as the AGM 88s. So I'm just going to put them here in the bottom left corner. Nice easy way to recognize that we have one. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 aim 9s, because we can't equip aim 120s at all. And so that's 5 out of the 6 weight. ECM pod is the 6th one. And the ECM pod, just to refresh, you'll see it back here. Electronic countermeasures. Each time we're attacked, even a special event, when counters can be expended to reduce the number of special event attacks, roll a die for the ECM pod before suppressing or evading. If you roll 6 or higher, you get to evade it. You avoid it entirely. And if you're equipped with an ECM pod, you only suffer 1 stress for evading instead of 2. So I hope you can see why the ECM pods are just king in this situation for the Marines. So please accept my apologies. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to roll to see if we get a 6 or better to avoid getting stress altogether. In fact, we're going to roll 2 dice. Blue is going to be sniper. Yellow is going to be... it's not Kong. Who was the other one? Animal. Yellow is animal. Blue is sniper. 6 or better. Alright, so animal rolled a 10. So he avoided it entirely. Sniper did not, but sniper only got 1 stress instead of 2. Okay? So that is to catch us up on the events. So again, I continually make mistakes. I feel bad. But remember on the event we had this. So the ECM pod for animal was able to avoid this entirely. For the other one, I was not able to avoid it. I had to go into evade. We already rolled for the evade. The evade worked. However, you take 2 stress when you do evade. But if you have an ECM pod, you only take 1 stress. I hope that makes it clear. So that's the reason why you only got 1 stress. We're going to redo everything in this mission. So we failed to do our fast attack. By the way, our slow attack's going to do nothing as well. We can't attack this first round. These 2 are the only ones that can attack in the first round. And they're going to do so right now. And the first thing he did was he rolled for Kong. So Kong is going to roll and see if he gets a 6 or better to see if his ECM pod evades. He rolled a 7. Kong evaded completely. Well done. So we don't even roll for their attack. Next we got the next one. So who's he attacking? Alright, I did roll a 4. I just wanted to make sure this was working. I think I like this better than rolling dice. What do you think? Like, those dice are hard to read. Okay. I mean, we could do this when we're rolling a die. Or we could do these. I don't know. I know some of you guys really like the dice. The dice are always weird, but they do work. Anyways, we got to do an ECM pod for this one. I failed. So now we're going to go ahead and do an evasion. I have to roll 2 dice. This is not going to be as helpful. So let's do it your way. Roll 2 dice. And this is fantastic. You want low numbers when you're rolling your 2 dice. I wish I could get rid of the glare. I don't think there's an easy way to... Well, actually, I could go into objects. Just get dice. I don't want metal dice. I want plastic. What are we doing? We're doing D10s. All right. So they missed, by the way. They were also attacking Kong. So Kong was able to evade because he has the ECM pod. He only takes 1 stress. All right. One of them could stay green. I'm not sure I like that. Yellow really hurts my eyes. Let's change that one. What haven't I picked? Yellow was the one. I can do a black. Let's do gray. I think this looks much better. See, the glare is, it's not like, yeah, this is much better, folks. All right, okay. So we did that, and both of their attacks are done. So we're getting there, we're getting there. Slow pilots attack, that's us. Like I said, we're not going to be able to. So now we can do move and adjust altitude. We're going to keep our altitude low, and we move 1 in towards the target. Now, right now, this is the only one that's in our range. And now it's their turn. Bandits move. So this one has a range of 2. And right now, 1, 2 is not good enough. So this one will move in to, it could do the center or here. I'm going to do here because it's easier for us to see. So now this one's in range. This one does not need to move. This one no longer needs to move. It would have moved, but we moved 1 closer, so now we are in range. 1, 2. So all of them are hot. This one does need to move, so it'll move up 1. Now we got 2 of them in our range. Okay, does that make sense? These guys in the middle do not move. They don't attack us. Okay, so now we advance the turn counter. We are on turn 2. We have 5 turns to get this done. Now we go back up to here, and fast pilots attack. So remember, Sniper is a fast pilot. Sniper does have 5, and so I am going to shoot 2 of them. 1. I am not independent, so I can only attack 1 target at a time. So we're going to spend 2 of them on the MiG-25 because I want to for sure kill this one. Now, who's the other 3? Turnip, Animal, and Kong. So Kong has nothing. Animal has 1 situational awareness. And Turnip does not. So what can happen here is Animal can spend 1. He's going to spend his situational awareness. Yeah, I'll put it on just to show it's spent. And then he's going to shoot 1 at the MiG-21. The idea being that we're going to kill the ones that we know we can. We can't do anything about these 3, but we can at least kill these 2 right away. The question becomes, do I really want to spend 2 of them on this? And the answer is yes, because the 279 is pretty deadly. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start with Animal or Sniper is going to shoot the first one. Sniper gets a +2, And then this is a +1, so +3. And you need a 6 to hit with these. And that 3 + 3 is the 6 we're looking for. It just barely did it. So we killed this guy. And so 2 of the aim 9s for sniper are gone. Okay, and then while I'm here, let's get the 1 for animal out as well. Now animal is going to roll 1. He rolled a 6 outright. I know he gets a +1. This is a +2. All of it is good in the neighborhood. And so 2 of them are shot out of the sky. Well done. So now we go to bandits attack. And we're going to get attacked by all 3 of these. So let's start. So this one here is going after turnip. So same deal. Turnip's gonna, he gets a 6 and he evades it. So next we go to this one. He's going after sniper. Sniper is gonna do evade. And we rolled a 1, which is good. And then sniper does have to take a stress. And then the last one is going after Kong. It's this guy here. And Kong failed. Roll. We got a 1, which is beautiful. And Kong goes up 1 stress. Alright, so we survived all 3 attacks. We are gaining stress, but I'm okay with that. Then slow attack, we have nobody in range. And now we move forward. None of these planes need to move. Nobody moves from this point forward. Everybody's in our range now. So we move to turn 3. Fast pilots attack. So we have sniper here. He doesn't need to use his situational awareness, but he is he's got 3 aim 9s left. He is going to use 1. So this is how I play, like with your physical copy. So we're going to go ahead and just use 1. We're going to use 2 of them. It's important to take these guys down. Which one's our biggest threat? I mean, this one had the biggest range. It's still our biggest threat as well. Well, no. Actually, all 3 of them have a 9 to destroy us. We're going to go ahead and do this one. So I'm going to go ahead and roll 2 dice. That 4, I think, would have been enough. Yeah, it would have. So we took him out. And remember, I can only shoot at 1 target. These aren't independent weapons. I can't shoot my missiles at multiple targets. So even though he's fast, I still can only take down 1 at a time. So these 3 are slow, and we're going to have to wait for 2 more attacks. So let's go ahead and we'll start with this one. It's going after 2, and this one's going after 4. So animal and then Kong. So here's animal first. Evades. Kong does not. For Kong, the 2 is a miss. Yes. It is a miss, but Kong does get another stress. 1 more and he'll be shaken. Okay. We should be fine, because I think this is going to wrap it up right here. So now slow bandits go, and the sniper here has a situational awareness. He's going to spend it to go again. And he's got 1 more aim 9. So we're going to go ahead and shoot that aim 9 at, it really doesn't matter, but we're going to go ahead and do this target right here. And we got ourselves a 6. This one's done. Alright, Sniper is out of ammo and done for his turn. Everybody else, well, no, Animal has 4 left. So Animal's going to go ahead and shoot 2 of his 4 to finish off the last one. So we got our 6 right there, and last guy is gone. So from here on out, it's just a matter of taking these down. We got 2 more rounds. So we're going to go ahead and start with Kong. He has a +0. He's shooting his first one. And then Turnip will shoot his first one. We're only going to shoot 1 each at 2 of these targets. So let's start with Kong and Turnip. Turnip gets a +1. Kong does not. Turnip will use the red one. Okay, this is for sure a hit with a +0. This is a 4. +1 is 5, which would normally be a miss, but they have +2 on them. So we took 2 out. Well done. And that brings us to the end of the turn. There's no need to move. We're going to just stay where we are. And now it's the turkey shoot. Sniper is basically done. There's nothing, he has no ammunition, but all 3 of these do. And fast or slow doesn't matter anymore. And so we're just going to expend 1 each. Now you might be wondering, why aren't you spending more than 1 to just finish this? I still got 1 more round. So actually for Turnip, since I have 3 of them left, I'll spend 2. Same with Kong. So Turnip and Kong will spend 2 each, but Animal's only going to spend 1. So let's start with Animal. We'll roll his. He rolled an 8. Animal got his. Then we'll go ahead and do Kong. He gets a +0. That is a 6 and a 7. That's more than enough. And then we're going to go ahead and do Turnip. He gets a +1. There's a 5. +1 is 6. That's enough. Alright, so now we got just 1 left. And I have 2, 1, and 2. We'll go ahead and do Kong. There's a 9 right there and a 7. I had plenty of missiles, is what I'm getting at. Alright, so we got them. Now, it does behoove you to sometimes have some missiles left over, because you might end up getting shot at on your way back. So now we're doing Homebound. We draw the event card. During the next primary mission, receive 4 free special option points of special weapons. The points cannot be saved. That would be the GBUs. That's the only thing they could really use. I'm going to go ahead and just... It says during the next primary mission. Good that it specified that. Okay, so we did our Homebound, and now we can record outcome, adjust tracks, etc. So first things first, missions inside of this band is 1 stress. And then also we win, so this I'm going to put above to show, so that way if we ever have to look back and see and count our victory points or whatever. So we get 3 victory points for this. That's the first thing. Second thing is the Recon and Infra both go up by 1. So Recon and Infra, they both move by 1. And I don't think there's anything else to really get excited about there. Oh, stress is 1. So all 4 of them get 1 stress. 1, 1. There's really just not an easy way to track. Like the moving back and forth thing is a little annoying. With the physical copy, I usually bring everything to the thing. But okay, so everybody gets 1 stress. And that is because of this. And we can always, because I'm having such a wonderful time remembering everything here. So we have no destroyed aircraft. We add target stress, which is what we just did. After stress points are determined, they're reduced by the cool, so we got to deal with that. And then if they didn't fly for the day, they recover their cool +2. So we are going to have to keep track of that in future missions. And then of course we could do priority R&R. That's a decision we make near the end. Oh, after every mission. From every pilot in your squadron. I may have been doing this wrong all these years. I have to pay 9 just for the pilots that were on that mission, not the entire squad. Oh no, that doesn't make sense. The entire squadron is all 12. So I've been doing it right. So I can always do 9 SO points to remove 2 stress plus cool. Then we do experience and stress. I think technically I'm supposed to do the primary and the secondary, and then we do this. It's just that it makes no sense. Let's do it while it's fresh in our memory. That's the issue. Okay, so we're going to get 1 experience point for completing, and then 1 more for destroying the target. And then, of course, pilots could possibly get promoted. So let's go in and, first of all, let's deal with the cool. Cool is 0, 0, 0, 1. So he goes back to 0. You're an animal. All right. So we do that. Everybody gets 2 experience points. You can check against the banner right here. The green for Kung is getting close. Nowhere close for anybody else. Okay, that was a lot of mistakes and retconning, etc. I hope I didn't drive you too bonkers there. I really appreciate your patience and thank you for your service on all that. And let's go ahead and pop this back. Whoops. And then turnip. Okay, so we got another mission to do, fighter sweep. Again, we would have to, do our loadouts. Let's make sure we follow this, etc. I do have to, unfortunately, I have to quit. The juices are flowing, my adrenaline, and here's the thing. This is a very epic. I still got 2 more sets of pilots to go through just to get through day 1. And Yeah, I mean that's I bit off a lot. But if you want to play a leader game, go all in. I mean, this is exhausting, yes, but it's like you're basically playing three games all at the same time. That's what we're doing. And we're just combining all of our victory conditions and whatnot, and I mean it works. And whatever pilots I have over here can't be used over here, etc. So that's why the Marine mission is for sure a lock in because they take Harriers and nobody else does. Um, the tricky part is you know you need your Tomcat Navy versus the Hornet Navy. Um, it'd be nice to get some stealth into the mix. If I had stealth, um, some of these pilots would have probably moved down to make room. But to be honest, I'm very like this one is my super squad. I think the ones I enjoy the most are these Hornets here. Um, the Tomcats though, they are amazing in this. This is why I want to play the F-15 or I'm sorry, the Eagle Leader, because they're just basically Tomcats, 2.0. Um, but anyways, I am rambling. So I do need to quit here. So let's figure out how to. That is definitely not the. So let's go to save. Create a save file. There we go. Bam. We are good to go. Thanks for watching. As always, stay awesome.